Well, here we are, everybody. The start of a brand new 1 week club. And this time we're starting off with WayV. Now, I technically have had a couple sounds on them, from them on the channel before, but it's been so long, I actually have not actually gone back and really listened to them. So I'm going to keep, I kind of always knew that I was going to do this as a 1 week club. I guess maybe subconsciously, I don't know. But I do remember I really liked them. As is tradition, we always check out their debut stage, so you're probably wondering, why the weird setup? Well, that's because anything that's in the Chinese media generally gets blocked. I try to have as much C-pop as on the channel as I can. 99% of it gets blocked. That's why I try to throw it over on the Patreon for free. I have been slacking a little bit, but I do plan on bringing it back here very soon. So that's the reason for the weird setup all right here, is to try to stop a blockage. So anyway, one more thing before we start. I am aware, and this will be the one and only time that I talk about this, and if somebody brings it up in the comments or decides to discuss or say something about that, I'm going to refer them back to this part in the 1 week club. I am aware of the allegations and certain things that a certain member has, kind of like from 127, who I will refer to as he who shall not be named. One thing, if I ever talk to him or about him in the positive light, it will only ever be about vocals, and it will probably more than likely be by accident. So before I say anything else after that, I don't condone what he does. I don't like what he did. I don't condone what he did. I don't condone anything that is even alleged. I don't care for how he's treated it. I don't care how their company has treated it. I think he should be buried under the prison at the middle of the earth. Bar none. Okay. I do not support. I do not condone. I do not insist any word that you want to tie around with that. I do not care for what that is. He deserves to be buried underneath the prison, like I said. So, if you have a problem with that, I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. I don't have any tolerance for that kind of thing. Anyway, one and only time I'm talking about it, okay? Now, we always start off with the debut stage, and they're covering regular from 127, and so, or NCT, I guess. So let's check it out, see how they handle it. Okay.
We are not the same， 我必须是唯一。Hey hey， 在最高之处 fly， 我的国度 skirt， 在我眼中 we never lose， 也没有限度。We do what we do，I'm so clean so fresh， 天生聚光像光秀，他们是浪漫，光源都以我为重。Let's go。像一段的镜头，虚化被让我变成为 star。Oh yeah yeah yeah，so fly so high， 聚焦我的 we touch the sky， 注定伟大。极光生命之都 I did it all by myself。And now we in the zone， 努力跌是成为歌，可是8000万都不够。Yeah yeah 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 yeah，falling in my motion，splash。
Oh, I love that. Dum, dum, dum.
We make the world go. 我路上的所有，填满世界 I want it. Multicolored diamonds like a rainbow. BLR 是色彩公共 Rainbow. Yeah， 闪闪发光 be flash， 无法自我 let's dance。实地反复，奢侈广阔，无孔不入。只选的 way， 突围了 way。我们闪烁被仰望的姿态，像海星灿烂，无需守着 stop， 填满来。像灰烬下长的 bird， still not satisfied。理所当然 on the regular， 就让规则以为 we make the world go。我俯瞰天空 ，we make the world go。我路上的所有。
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. No, this was actually pretty cool. I like the different vibes from it. You know, it just kind of felt different. And okay, you know, I really liked the vibe. And honestly, I think on the channel, if you're new, we always discuss like how does a group debut stack up? The tippity top for me on this channel has always been Shiny for the boy groups. For girl groups, for me, 21 has been the gold standard for debuts. Shiny, 21. So the truth is, though, this is a little bit tricky because this was already written for 127 or, you know, NCT in general. So the question is, can we grade this on the normal scale for a debut group? Because technically they debuted, but the song kind of already came from some establishment. But at the same time, it's them. They're doing it for the first time. And they're presenting it, in a sense, kind of in their own way. So there's an argument to be made both ways. Now, the con of this is that that's kind of every group, right? They all come from a very storied company, both good and bad. But it's true. I mean, if we are going to be talking about, you know, NCT, they are very well established and have been, and so has their label, for many, many years. So any song that is given to a debut group, you could say the same thing. So I want to take this as theirs. I'm going to separate this from what we have heard from 127 and kind of rate it on how they handled it. So let's talk a little bit about this for just a second here. Boo. This, my opinion, this was probably as good, if not maybe even slightly better than 127's. I know, it's kind of interesting, but every debut that I've seen from NCT, we did NCT U, their debut stage, then we did 127's, and now we've done WayV's, and it seems like every single time we have a new debut, to me, I seem to like it more every time there is a re-debut. That's just how I feel. Personally, There's a lot of people that are in this group that I really like. I saw Win 10, obviously, very cool. We did actually his Nightcrawler video back when it came out, and as of right now, he's probably my bias. I don't know if that will remain. Win is also really cool. So yeah, this is definitely. But here's the thing. I think if I remember correctly, when it comes to the NCT 127, I think I said something along the lines of that it was a higher A tier debut. And this is where it kind of gets a little convoluted, right? I think that this is also a high A tier, but just slightly ahead of 127, if I'm being honest. I don't know. It could just be recency bias. I don't know. To me, it clicks a little bit more. So I guess technically by that standard, Dream and Wish will probably be more my favorite. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, really good, really good, solid debut. Very high. Honestly, 127 was a lot more experimental than a lot of the groups that I have had on here. So if I'm being real here, I have to think about it from, is WayV going to be that kind of weirdness too? Are we going to be going right back into all the experimental stuff that we had from 127? But if I'm being real, I think that I'm prepared. But I liked this. It felt a lot more direct. It felt a lot more I call it the knife hand. Phew. It feels just a lot more direct. It feels a lot more just straightforward. And that's what I like about this. So anyway, where do you rank this? Was this a better debut than 127? If not, I understand. If so, I also understand. It's something that you could argue. Anyway, thank you all so much. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, Victus.